So what is up, Kingdom Hearts fans, and welcome to the very first Kingdom Short. These Kingdom Shorts are actually going to be like little small videos to actually try and explain certain things inside of Kingdom Hearts. Now, of course, they are going to go off of one, interpretive views, speculation, and a lot of many different other things and stuff. Of course, looking at certain pieces of what potentially could be evidence rather than, of course, being factual evidence. These videos are actually going to consist of things that haven't actually been explained well enough for us to actually find out how they work or why X happened. So that's exactly what Kingdom Shorts are actually going to be. They're just little small attempts that should take nowhere longer than 5 minutes for me to actually get out my own speculation about what of course happened or what of course has happened to make X event come to be. So today we're going to be talking about Lee's Keyblade, and the reason why I wanted to talk about Lee's Keyblade is because it's one of the most confusing things from Dream Drop Distance. Dream Drop Distance is actually full of a lot of confusing things from time travel to, of course, if I'm not mistaken, the dream world is one of the most confusing things to a lot of people. But today we're going to be getting into Lee's Keyblade. Now, Lee's Keyblade, of course, comes in at the very last few moments of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, right before you dive into, right after you dive into Sora's heart to save, of course, Sora himself. So when Lee actually spawns this Keyblade, he speaks of course, coming to Master Yen Sid, which we see him do, of course, I believe somewhere around quarter 1 of the game. He pops up and he tells Yen Sid about, of course, him wanting to learn how to become a Keyblade Master, and Yen Sid is telling him, of course, this is going to be a very huge task. It's a very large task. You got to go through so much shit to actually become a Keyblade wielder, and of course, not everybody who tries to become a Keyblade wielder actually wind up making it. Now, I don't know exactly what he meant by that. Of course, he could mean that you could become corrupted and, of course, be destroyed. I think that is a concept inside of Kingdom Hearts to where, your heart and stuff could be corrupted and be destroyed. And Lee actually talks about when he first summons his Keyblade, how he couldn't get it to materialize, and he didn't know what was the problem. Of course, maybe it was the way how they use it, how you're supposed to flick your wrist when you summon it, which of course that was just bullshit, of course, filler stuff for them to actually try and put in little jokes in there. And what I really think actually wound up happening for Lee to actually be able to acquire this Keyblade is that Lee potentially was somehow or some way, form, or fashion having the same kind of dreams that Sora had before he actually, of course, became Axel. And the reason why I say this is because if we take a look back at the history of Kingdom Hearts, we have a few moments when of course, in Birth by Sleep, we had that moment where it shows off that Ventus was actually using Terra's Keyblade dummy. And when he was using Terra's Keyblade dummy, this was actually Terra's way of course, giving him some type of remembrance in the same way of how Xion and Roxas actually did when he let her use his Keyblade and he was using the stick, when he was using the stick and he let Xion use his Keyblade. It was supposed to be a way of course, helping Ventus actually remember how to wield the Keyblade. Now, who's to say that this same, of course, Keyblade dummy couldn't actually be used to actually forge Keyblade wielders themselves? Now, this is something that's definitely going to take a lot more of explaining, and of course, in a 5-minute video, I don't think that I could actually say enough, but I definitely believe that that is the case. I believe that that Keyblade dummy plays a huge part into why, of course, Lee has a Keyblade. Now, if we take a look, of course, once again at Ventus's experience with the Keyblade dummy, he wasn't able to summon his Keyblade at that time. In fact, I believe he did try a couple times, but after, of course, failing those couple of times, he kind of gave up. And then Terra came to him with the Keyblade dummy, and he gave it to him, and he actually started using his own Keyblade to start training. And then, of course, a little while after that, or probably after a few months in time, of course, Ventus actually wound up being able to use his Keyblade again. So I think that Keyblade dummy is definitely the missing piece to, of course, the chain of events that actually hasn't been explained yet. Of course, where Lee gets his Keyblade from. Now, the training part, of course, and him coming to Yen Sid, I think is definitely because, of course, he had those same dreams that Sora was having inside of Kingdom Hearts 1. Although I do know that the reason why Sora had the dreams may be different, but there's no reason to say that a Keyblade wielder who is, of course, being chosen by a Keyblade, or who hasn't forged their Keyblade yet, or utilized it yet, or built that connection, become connected to their Keyblade yet, doesn't have those dreams, and I think that they definitely do, because of course young Xehanort also had the same experience, if I'm not mistaken. Remember when he was talking about this world is just too small? He eventually had to come into a Keyblade because he disappeared off the island out of fucking nowhere. So there's no way to explain that too, other than of course Keyblade wielders know when they're about to receive a Keyblade. But let me know what you guys think. This is just a little Kingdom short for you guys. I mean, this is kind of what they're gonna be, just a lot of speculation, nothing real factual, but kind of giving you guys an idea of what potentially could have been the case. This has been your boy Mazia. Don't forget to check out my gaming channel. I actually made a channel where I'm going to be doing Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, Kingdom Hearts 2.8, and Kingdom Hearts 3 when it releases, of course, and plenty of other games if you want to check those out too. But this has been your boy Mazia. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-class, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace the heck out.